Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another Financial Corner. It's your boy D Fat Stacks, and yes, I know I haven't done these in a while. How's everybody doing? How's life treating y'all? Man, woo! Another day for your boy. Man, that 40 water. Woof. Man, turning 40 is just another day for your boy. So hopefully everybody's had a good day. Appreciate, everybody uh hitting your boy up and all that good stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody coming through. Yeah, it's really something I don't even announce, to be honest with you. As long as I don't look my age, it's always a good thing. You know what I'm saying? So now we gonna get down to the real nitty. Now obviously I forgot the mic so far. But obviously we're going to talk about some current events, everything going on from, I know we've already talked about inflation the last time I was on here. Now obviously you see inflation is causing prices to go up, as well as now with the current events going on, the conflict going on. You see gas prices are going up, and unfortunately it's going to get worse before it gets better. So before I go through that, we're gonna go through a couple of these tabs, and we're gonna talk about everything that's been happening and how it correlates to what's been going on, and especially what's gonna be going on between your pockets, your money, grocery store, and everything else that's being affected. So obviously the market is down today. S&P is down 0.72%, the Dow is down 0.56%, NASDAQ 0.28%, and the Russell looks like it was up today at 0.6%. Now, mind you, like I show you guys now, my portfolio when it comes to energy, I have 3 stocks: Chevron, Exxon, and MMP. You guys already know this. I've shown you guys. Those stocks alone have been running rampant, especially Chevron and Exxon. So if you were looking to get into the energy sector right now, to be honest with you, I wouldn't do it. It's too expensive, because right now, if you look at the charts for a lot of energy companies, a lot of them are at all-time highs for some of them. So, in the Intelligent Investor, as you read, or for any investor period, you learn you don't buy when it's high. You don't do that at all, because eventually energy is going to drop sometime, whenever that time is. So now we've all seen this happen before. For those who can remember what happened in the housing bubble in 2008, and as well as, I believe, a few years later was a dot-com bubble, I believe 2010, 2011, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, it took almost a decade for the economy and everything to get back on track. 2018, 2019, things were looking, up. It took that long from 2008 all the way up until 2018 for things to start to get better. Almost a decade, depending on how you want to look at it. So if you see what's going on, the catalyst for what started this whole mess was 2020. When the whole world was pretty much locked down in 2020 because of what happened. Obviously, I'm going to avoid saying certain words because I just don't want, the stream getting flagged or, all sorts of nonsense. So I'm just gonna, y'all know what's going on, right? When I say stuff like that, hopefully you guys have been paying attention to current events and other things. If not, then I don't know where you've been, unless you just been living out in the wilderness somewhere and just, avoiding human contact at all costs. So, but either way, as you can see, the market is reacting a little different with everything going on with inflation and with energy going up. Now, mind you, during 2020, the government was injecting a lot of liquidity into the markets. So there was a lot of, money being just thrown around out of thin air. Some people were taking, that government cheese and investing it. Others were, spending it on rent and other, vital things that they needed. But the main thing to understand is the government injected a lot of money. Now, obviously, that money was not free. Eventually, there's going to be a price to pay for it. So, it's always interesting to me when people want the government just to throw out money out there. It ain't free. By no means is it free. And this is one reason why you see what's happening now with higher inflation, meaning that your dollar, last year is less valuable than this year. You know what I mean? Yes, there has been record savings because of nothing. People weren't doing much of anything in 2020. Obviously, this is 2022. So, in 2020, when that happened, the whole world was shut down. And then obviously, 2021, things were still trying to creep. The world was trying to, get back on its feet. It wasn't even back on its feet yet. You know what I mean? So obviously there were a lot of things in the market in between, GameStop shooting up, AMC, being shot up out the stratosphere as well. Well, GameStop being the main one. And then obviously you've had a lot of people that were putting money into a lot of SPACs, trying to make that quick money. And as you can see right now, a lot of those companies that were just, being injected with, people hoping stuff would run up, that obviously those companies didn't have any kind of track record yet, no kind of cash flow yet. And a lot of those companies now are getting hammered in the market. Hence why when I first was, and if you guys are wondering why am I looking off to the side, is because I am looking at my phone, because I have you guys on YouTube as well. So I am multi-streaming. So trying to pass the message out to everybody at one time. You know what I mean? So, but everybody needs to understand something. With everything going on, the world still didn't recover from what happened in 2020. Just point blank. The world was not on its feet yet. Things are okay, but there's still, a lot of supply issues, high demand, little supply. So when you have high demand, little supply, you know what that means. A lot of people need to understand basic economics. I think I've said this before. A lot of people need to understand economics. If there is high demand and not much supply, that means you're going to pay more, no matter what the government does. A lot of the products that we get here in the United States are made in other countries. So if other countries are hurt as we are when it came to 2020 and a lot of their manufacturing was shut down, there isn't going to be much. And if you guys have been listening, they're talking about 2 to 3 years before the supply issues can ease up a little bit. Of course, you saw what was going on with the ports. A lot of stuff is at the ports or in the sea, just waiting around to, to hit the ports and stuff like that. But still, even with that and everything else, they were still talking about, I believe, 18 to 24 months before things would kind of get online. Now with, the current events of what's going on right now, it's going to even cost more because of the sanctions that they're going to impose. When all these countries are imposing these sanctions and, cutting off Russia, I'm just going to say them, so everybody knows what I'm talking about. So when all these countries are cutting off Russia from this, from that, and everything else, it's going to hurt elsewhere. You know what I mean? So before people think that, oh, well, they should be, no, it doesn't work that way. The world as a whole, every country, depends on each other one way or not every country, but most developed countries, are definitely depending on each other for one resource or the next. So if you have a country that no longer produces a particular item that other countries definitely depend on, some more than others, now you're really going to have to find a way to either A, increase production, you know what I mean? Or B, find a way to supplement that. Meaning, is another country going to take over those, areas, depending on, what's being, because right now, what are we looking at? Wheat. Russia has a lot of wheat. What else? Oil is another one. You know what I mean? The EU depends on Russia a lot when it comes to energy, when it comes to natural gas and stuff. So, it's going to be interesting because it's going to affect everybody. And obviously, the president came out not too long ago talking about they're going to impose sanctions on import, which means that we are going to have higher gas prices. I'm going to say this again. The gas prices are going to get higher. It's not going to go lower anytime soon until the conflict is over. And then it might, peter down some. No telling how much it might peter down to. But as of right now, it's going to go higher. A lot of people are saying until this conflict gets resolved, gas prices are going to be higher. And they even said this before this conflict even happened, that gas prices were still going to creep up. It just ended up being this quick. So, places you might have some places reach $6.50 a gallon, maybe $7 a gallon. Who knows? I'm just glad I don't live in those areas that you paying $6 for fuel. Damn near, for some places, it might be, by time this is all over, depending on how long this drags on, it might be $7 a gallon for certain places. You know what I mean? But with everything going on with this conflict and shortages and, demand being high, you're going to have a lot of increase with your food. You know what I mean? And that's what there's going to be increases everywhere. And I won't say drastically, but it's going to be significant. Unfortunately, it's going to be significant. It's not just the gas. You know what I mean? You're going to have even, wheat. So anything to deal with wheat, if you see wheat prices go up, which means that, your whole grains and all that stuff going to go up. You know what I mean? A lot of things use energy. It's going to go up. So a lot of us consumers are, some people are going to have to, make that decision. It's going to be, is either do I eat or do I fill up my tank to go to work? Those are decisions that some people are making right now. And it's real. You know what I mean? It is real. And we as consumers need to understand something, that, the government ain't going to bail you out. That's just point blank. It is not going to bail you out because they've already injected so much money in the system. And yes, they're still looking to raise interest rates. It just won't be as significant. I think they talked about a quarter point they're going to raise for inflation. But I've said this before, got to make sure you be able to manage yourself, manage your, manage your pockets right, manage your lifestyle right. Even with everything being high prices, I'm still going to keep investing. I would rather, my hobbies or, all the expenditures take a back seat versus everything else. Why? Because by time we come out of this, which it always happens, it just takes time. The rich get richer. Those who invest properly, those who put their money in the proper places, invest in your business, you know what I mean? And you will grow out of this. It's happening. It's happened already, and it will happen again. This is why they say, the rich get richer and the poor definitely going to get poorer, because, it is absolutely no joke for everybody out there right now. You know what I mean? Everybody's situation is different. You see what I'm saying? But inflation is going to get higher before things cool down. That is a fact. So if people think that the prices are going to come down within the next, week or so, or the month or so, nah, that ain't going to happen. Now, I tell you this, if the conflict ends up, being over with, hopefully, let's say in the next few days, then, definitely energy prices might not be so jumping up so extravagantly. I think within like 4 days, gas just leaping bounds. You know what I mean? So, but as we look, we're going to look at the jobs report as well. That's another thing that is very important. Jobs, the unemployment. Obviously, the unemployment is higher amongst minorities versus whites. And because the national average is like 3.8, that doesn't mean that the other minorities' jobs report is less. Job numbers are less. So what I mean by that is, like I said before, the unemployment is like 3.8, but the unemployment for blacks is like 6 point something, and so on and so on. If you want to look at the numbers, you can go ahead. They do produce that. You can get the PDF, go through it yourself, look through it. It's all free information. So, but as we see, they did add this is from New York Times, by the way. So as you can see, in February, there was a growth of 678,000 jobs. And I believe the leisure and hospitality section was a section that grew a lot in that segment. I sent out if you guys are on my socials, I sent out a picture, a screenshot of what I'm talking about right here. So if you guys want to go back to and look at those screenshots, then you'll see like it's broken down by the jobs and all that. So as you can see, we rose pretty good on the jobs. And obviously, as you can see here, what it says, 2.1 million jobs since February 2020. So now obviously there is, a difference when it comes to jobs, because depending on, you have a lot of people that quit their jobs, started businesses of their own. A lot of people are looking to work from home. A lot of people are looking to, get better pay, in a different field or something like that. So with that being said, with everything going on right now, everybody, well, I won't say everybody, but you have some people out there working 2-3 jobs just to pay rent. It's real. You seen what rent looking like. I've talked about this last time. You see what I'm saying? If you are renting, you are going to be screwed over. That is just plain and simple. There's no sugarcoating it. If you think your rent is high now, it ain't stopping. It might still creep up. Mortgages are a lot less than rent right now. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said before, inflation is going up. So that means consumers are going to be catching the brunt of that. These corporations and companies, they want to make sure they keep their profits and their shareholders happy. So you know what they do? The prices are still going to raise, and we as consumers still going to pay. We got to have food, got to have shelter. You see what I'm saying? So got to have some type of transportation in order to have food and shelter, because if we can't pay bills, then y'all know what time it is. So, I mean, everybody's going to have their opinion, this and that, but this is why also, too, depending on what type of business you're looking to get into, could also be your advantage. People got to have food, people got to have shelter, people got to have transportation. So when you look into investments on the investment side as well, you could almost, places like Walmart, Coca-Cola. What else we got? We could even say Lowe's or even Home Depot, some of the home improvement plays out there. Now, of course, I'm saying all the big names because all these big names have, like I said, legit cash flows, legit, you know what I mean, portfolios. And that's what we need to look at, companies that are solid, so that regardless of what goes on in the world, you can still get your little dividends. You can still grow your portfolio. Like I said, me personally, I showed you guys the moves that I made the last time. Like I said, this November, like I said, every November, I'm going to try to show you guys kind of like my whole yearly thing. You know what I mean? Show you guys how much the portfolio has grown and what's been going on. But obviously now my portfolio has grown leaps and bounds because of Chevron, Exxon, and MMP. But those three aren't going to last long. Eventually the price is going to drop out of the energy. So now my dilemma is, well, do I want to cash and take some profits and hold and then buy in again when the price drops? I could do that, but then how far is the price gonna drop compared to what I have, what I bought in when I bought in? Now, obviously, I bought in at some very low prices back in 2021 when prices were pretty low. I don't think they'll be going that low anytime soon, to be honest with you. But, you know, for where the price action is right now, it'd have to drop at least, 50 basis points for me to even buy back in with some of these energy plays. And man, when I mean basis points, I mean, I need the share price to drop at least, 40, 50 bucks from where it's at now in order to get back in. Like Chevron has to drop like somewhere between 40 bucks. MMP needs to drop maybe, $5, $6. And I think Exxon is the same thing. Exxon would have to drop at least a good $40 in share price before I get back in again. And I don't see that happening. The way how oil and all that stuff, and plus on top of that, these sanctions with Russia, that means the U.S. is going to have to pump more oil. How much of that are they going to pump? Are they going to, how much of an increase are we going to go? I don't know. I'm not looking into that, but I know one thing is for sure. You're going to have people start talking about that whole pipeline. Oh, we should have built that pipeline and see da-da-da-da-da. And I've just seen on recently when I was reading, a lot of the oil from the U.S. comes from Canada anyway. You know what I mean? So is building that pipeline going to help ease, some of the gas prices? Who knows? You know what I mean? Can they do it safely where it doesn't hurt the environment? Or, what's going on with the protests and everything, why they have them stop building it in the first place? You're going to have both sides, screaming and da-da-da-da-da and everything else. All I'm saying is, the U.S. is going to have to pump more oil with the sanctions going on with Russia. Just point blank and simple. However they do it, who knows? You know what I mean? But still, gas prices aren't going to drop like that either. For those thinking that, oh, well, if we pump more, it's going to significantly drop like that quick. No, it doesn't work that way. It ain't going to drop that quick. So, but as you see, let's read what's employers added. We already read that. Unemployment fell to 3.8%. Now, mind you, that's just showing as a whole. That doesn't show the minority numbers. I'm telling you, some of you guys, if you guys really want to see what the unemployment numbers are like, check the unemployment numbers, by minorities as well. Because in some segments, it's high. See what I'm saying? Service workers, even as employers scramble to fill vacancies. Now, part-time work is partly to blame. Okay, now when it comes to service workers, I'm going to say my opinion about this. A lot of people probably quit the service sector because they saw what happened in 2020. That's just the hard truth. If you have a job in the service sector, next thing you know, 2020 came through, you lost your job, nothing. No, nothing. Because places were closed up. Who's going to want to go back into that type of industry where if something were to happen again that shuts down that type of sector, they'll be out of a job again? There's really no security. So a lot of people say like, well, why am I going to go back in this industry when if something like this happens, I'm gonna lose my job. I might need to find something else to do or something more secure so that even if something like this happens, I won't lose my job. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people probably had, sat down and thought about it and like, man, I need to do something else. So you have a lot of people not even going back into service work. Some, like I said, some people are staying home, maybe starting their own businesses, work from home, and, and stuff like that. So, all right, the unionization efforts, the pandemic has fueled enthusiasm for organized labor, but for the pushback has been brutal, especially in the private sector. Yes, that's another thing because, when people are trying to unionize, then you get benefits, you get certain this, you get certain that. You know what I mean? So, the latest case was Starbucks, I believe. I seen Starbucks was going through something like that, and of course Amazon was going through something like that. A while back there. So you have people are trying to fight for higher wages, but higher wages will never catch up to inflation. We need to understand this. No matter how much you get paid, unless you have a career or particular skill that is needed, that's going to pay you that high, that high salary. If you are just a basic laborer, you're gonna end up, and you have no type of significant skill, you're gonna end up working, 2 jobs, 3 jobs just to make a living. That's just being honest. I'm being dead real. You know what I mean? If you want to get paid more, you got to have some type of significant skill or career. And when I mean career, I mean like, medical field, lawyer, education. Education's hurting like a mug right now. You know what I mean? Even though, and actually, teaching online is not really a bad thing. If you ask me, it just depends. Some kids, depending on how you want to look at it, But do I think face-to-face is better? Yes, I do think face-to-face is better. But, it is what it is. But still, education can still pay. You know what I mean? So, but like I said, there's a lot of everybody's out there trying to fight for jobs, getting a higher pay. But inflation is outrunning these wage increases, the higher pay, and as you see it now. So regardless, depending on what you drive, and it's what, $100 to fill your tank. And if you got that premium stuff, because some of these new vehicles now have premium, it's it ain't no joke. Yo, Ash, what's going on? Sorry about that. I'm just looking now back at the chat. Yeah, I got a Toyota that I drive to work, a little 4-cylinder. What it used to take like $30 to fill the tank is like $50 to fill the tank. So, and I drive a pretty good distance to work because I have to fill up at least one time a week to go to work, at least once. You know what I mean? So, shouts out to Ash. Appreciate you coming through, fam. Welcome, everybody. But as I said, new to the workforce, graduating college seniors will start their career without the memory of the blank work of life. I'm not even about to say that because I don't want to be blipped. All right. Of course, it goes through. And this is what I was talking about too. Here we go. Among racial groups, participation climbed for white, black, and Hispanic people in February. Black and white people are participating in the job market at the same rate, 62.2%, which is a change from the decades before when black people tended to be less attached to the job market than their white. Well, because of what's going on right now. Look at inflation. You have to. If you don't have a job right now, oh man, things are only going to get more expensive. As you can see right here, the participation in the, You guys see it on the chart right here. Let me scroll up a little bit. Now, the one that I sent on my socials had black, white, and Hispanic figured in as well. So make sure if you guys want to see that, make sure you guys go and check out my socials. I put, like I said, the my Twitter, Facebook, what else? IG. You see what I'm saying? So what else we got down here that we're gonna read? Oh, I think that's it. All right, so now inflation. All right, the CPI for all items rose 0.6%, driving up annual inflation by 7.5. The marked the biggest gain since February 1982 and went even higher when Wall Street estimate. Core inflation rose 6%, which also was a notch above expectations, obviously. Real earnings for workers increased 0.1. Let me read that again. Real earnings for workers increased just 0.1%. I hope y'all see this. This is why you gotta have a hustle, man. You got to be doing something else on the side, unless, like I said, if you one of them people that's making $200,000-$300,000 something dollars because you have a particular skill, you ain't got to worry about working two jobs. That that one particular skill is making you money. You see what I'm saying? So weekly jobless claims declined to 200. Yeah, well, weekly jobless claims, it is going to decline because if rent keeps going up, some people might not be able to afford rent. Same thing with, like I said before, people might have to choose between rent, food, and gas, and it is not a joke. You got a lot of people out there that has to choose between one of the three with everything going on. It ain't a joke, man. I'm trying to let y'all know. You got to prepare yourself. Yeah, people have to understand if companies pay more, then everything is going to cost more, which it means you'll be getting paid more, but your money will be worth less. Exactly. Like I said earlier, your dollar last year is not the same dollar this year, or a dollar 2 years ago is not the same. It is not the same. So, especially a lot of y'all that live in these high priced areas, California, Texas, Florida, we can go New York, Massachusetts, all up Virginia, anything near water. We all know anything near water is going to cost money. If you live near water, it's over for you. I ain't going. It's over, because a lot of you, I've seen the gas prices already. California, I've already seen $6. It might even touch $7. Florida is touching like between 5 and 6, I believe. Let's look at the national average for fuel. Right here, national average is over $4. Diesel is almost $5. That's the national average. Now, where I stay at, gas is $3.80. Where I'm staying at right now, gas is $3.80, and that's a lot for this area, because not everybody's going to be able to afford that type of gas. And me personally, I drive a long distance to go to work. You know what I mean? And I already knew that I've already averaged in, how much gas would be, this and that. So I'm fine. You know what I mean? But I budget myself. You see what I'm saying? I always make sure, I live within my means, or even way below my means. So, when these increases happen, it's not really an issue. You know, every year price is gonna go up somewhere, somehow. Nothing stays cheap. Nothing. So, shoot, by the time I retire, which 20 years from now, gas average, the average might be $8 a gallon for gas. Who the hell knows? I hope not. Hopefully gas will be, I could definitely see the national average now when everything is over. This isn't that. The national average might be between $3 and $4 a gallon for gas. National average. I'm calling it right now. The national average for gas, when all this is over, when inflation goes, and it might be a decade before that even happens. Like I said before, look what happened from in 2000, 2008, and then of course the dot-com bubble burst. There was a spike in fuel prices. Now, when it comes down, like I said before, national average will be between $3 to $4 a gallon. And that's just going to be the norm, unfortunately. Electric bicycle. A lot of us going to be getting some exercise for real. For real, man. It's bad. It is not a joke. And the reason why I didn't do Financial Corner these past 3 weeks is because, there was really nothing to talk about. You know what I mean? Because everything everybody saw, everybody was just regurgitating. There was nothing new. If you're already invested in the market, keep staying invested, regardless of what you see, because people are making more money coming out in the end, in the latter end, when everything starts. Like I said before, when everything dropped in 2008, the rich was getting richer by the time it was all said and done. Things happened in 2020, the rich are still getting richer, and everybody else is still falling behind. You see what I mean? So, and I'm not saying, well, that's easy for you to say, you can, no, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you want to make sure you get yourself set for long-term success. Let your money work for you. Because if you have your money sitting in a savings account, the only person you helping is the bank. I said this before. It's okay to have emergency funds. There's nothing wrong with that. But there comes to a point where it's just dead money. The key is to have cash flow. You want to have cash flow, money consistently coming in some way, shape, or form, or being able to build out that time where you can retire. You know who's really hurting right now? Some of these retirees that retired 15 years ago, or even let's say 10 years ago. Shoot, let's even say 5 years ago. Some of these people that retired 5 years ago. You know what I mean? They weren't seeing what was happening with, what happened in 2020. Well, that kind of helped though, because you kind of saved a lot of money then, since everything was shut down per se. You weren't really spending anything, so you have that. But things were still slowly but surely getting more expensive. Slowly but surely. And now with the conflict going on with Russia, now it's even gotten worse. So no telling, where it ends when it comes to the inflation. How long will it take to drop? Like I said, it might take a decade. It might take more. Who knows? But all I can say is that rent's going to go higher. Energy price is going to go higher. Food's going to go higher. So how do you protect yourself from paying, so many high prices? Obviously, lifestyle is going to change. Certain things you won't be able to do, whatever. Because, like I said, some people are picking one out of the three, like I said earlier, and it's not easy. And if you have kids, it's definitely rough. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say this again. If you don't have a particular skill or a career, you should try finding a particular skill or career to help yourself in the long run. If you're just working a regular job and you don't have a particular skill, you're gonna hurt. You're gonna be hurting. That's just my honest, dead opinion. You know what I mean? Or at least have 2 or 3 side hustles, something going on to help alleviate the pressure until things do drop down. Then you can be like, all right, I can, you know what I mean? You know, so got to be prepared. You know what I mean? And you know what, Ash? I ain't gonna lie, it's rough out there, and you are absolutely right. You know, but you got to do what you got to do, though. You see what I'm saying? It just so happens sometimes things just end up happening at bad time. You know, you picked the right time to do something, but the world said, well, this is gonna happen, and then all of a sudden it just went to crap. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, there's really nothing you can do, you know. But I will say this: there are ways, though, you can help yourself. And I will say this again: people need me personally. I try to do my best to surround myself with people that can help each other move forward. Meaning that if you got some type of information on, hey, if you do this, you can make this, or hey, if you go out and you do this, you see what I'm saying? We need to be helping each other grow, because as of right now, you got a lot of people that's gonna be putting their head in the sand. I'm just saying. And information is free. Knowledge is free. All you got to do is have the drive to get what you want. There are companies out there willing to pay as long as you have that particular skill. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. So, but as well, I will always say as well, I'm going to keep investing regardless of what's going on in the world, because I'm investing in companies that I know people are going to have to deal with. You need gas. I'm dealing with energy companies, the top 1 and 2, Chevron and Exxon, number 1 and 2 in I think 1 and 2 or 1 and 3, something like that in their sector. You know what I mean? And then of course a pipeline. You need the pipeline to, for all these hubs where the oil got to go to. So I picked a pipeline hub. You know what I mean? AbbVie, these companies, Walmart. Well, not Walmart. I don't have Walmart, but Coca-Cola I have. Pfizer. You guys see the portfolio. I'm getting into companies that regardless of what happens, they are still going to make their money, and I'm still going to get paid off of them. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean there's a lot of ways, like, if people want information, like Ash, if you ask me, hey, this, that, like, yeah, I can point you in the right direction somewhere, if you need something, like, if you're trying to do something, this and that. That's how we should be. People out there are going to have very difficult times. So why not try to help somebody with a job, help somebody with knowledge, help them try to maybe attain a skill, so, so that they can, be better for themselves. You see what I'm saying? The whole analogy, teach a man to fish. You see what I'm saying? So, but these are rough times for a lot of people. A lot of people. And it's only going to get, I'm not saying this to be no doomsday prediction or nothing like that, but I'm just saying from what I have seen in the past and what I'm seeing right now, it's going to get worse before it gets any better. From what history shows us, they always say history repeats itself. And when it comes to the markets and inflation, you always have those times where you see it drop, you see it go up, you see it drop, you see it go up. You know what I mean? And like I said, regardless, you have to eat, you have to have some place to live, you have to have some type of transportation. Gots to have those 3, the minimum those 3. So, and you know what? And it's good to have that backup. You see what I'm saying, Ash? It's good to have that backup. And that's what I'm trying to, convey to some people out there. Have that backup. Have that something to do. And especially if you have kids, try to, because the way gas is, people ain't gonna be driving all over the place. Vacations are gonna be like very slim for some people, depending on who you are. You know, obviously, if you don't have a kid and you single and you ain't got nobody to worry about but yourself, hey, you know what I'm saying? All you got to do is work for yourself, work on yourself and get paid. That's it. If you're the only person that you got to worry about. But for other people that have kids, you know, that have that, you know, and if you have somebody with you, you know, if you married or, you know, you got a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever the case may be, and you have somebody that, you know, both of y'all are working together, you know, it does make things easier. You know what I mean? Depending on who you are. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, with everything going on right now, you know, it's good to try to, you know, if you have that good circle, make sure you lean on that support. What I mean by lean on that support, I mean, ask your questions, get the knowledge. You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. There's always more than one way to skin a cat with everything going on. But like I said this before, I wanted to get on and talk about certain things that's happening today, but mainly the market is going to do what the market is going to do. It is up to you depending on how you want to invest. And I've said this since day one. I am not investing. I'm not a short-term investor. I'm not a trader. I'm a long-term investment. I'm investing for the long term, I should say. So whatever moves I'm making for 10, 20 years from now. So all these certain stocks that you guys are seeing that are high, I highly recommend I would not get into some of these energy stocks that are so high. I wouldn't do it. Now you have some of these short-term traders, you have short-term investors and traders that's, you know, that will be dipping in the commodities market, obviously, with a lot of things shooting up. But my personal opinion, you know, I'd wait till it cool off to get back in. You know, like I said, you don't want to pay a premium price for a stock. But if you are invested in an ETF, it don't matter. It don't flipping matter. Because you just keep buying on the little dips here and there. Because if you're an ETF, especially if we've talked about this before, the VOO or the SPY, if you're invested in the market as a whole, it don't matter. Because it's shown, I've said this before, way past in other videos. We did a ETF video and I've shown you guys on the chart. Over time, you get paid more with compound interest and growth. Over time, you will make more in an ETF than if you just pick stocks singularly. So it is a proven fact. You know what I mean? Like I said, if you guys go back and check the ETF videos, I show you guys, it's right there. You know, it is proven if you invest in an ETF long term, you will make out better than just trying to pick your own stocks. Me, I'm just stubborn. I just want to see if I can beat the market. But with saying that, though, I still pick some of the top companies that are within the ETFs and the hedge funds because they're all doing the same thing. So we'll see if I can do it or not. So, but yeah, hopefully, you know, you guys are having a good day. I appreciate everybody coming through. Like I said, I wanted to leave that national average gas price up because hustle and flow. You know, it's hard out here for, man, look, it's rough out there for everybody right now. See what I mean? So all I can say is, you know what I mean, reach out if you need to reach out. Don't let what's going on in the world, you know, get to you and whatnot. You know what I mean? If definitely get that support, you know, ask questions. You know, if you're trying to do something, look to do something different. You know, if you're looking to invest, you know, make sure you do your homework. You know what I mean? Because right now with the market the way it is a good time to get in, especially on those dip days. You see what I'm saying? As you can see right now, some of the heavy tech stocks have dropped. You know what I mean? Shoot, Microsoft has dropped significantly. Apple has dropped significantly. Good time to get in if you're looking to buy Apple or Microsoft. So, but me personally, I'm just keep reinvesting into the stocks that I already have. And like I said before, Eventually, I plan on getting into the SPY ETF, but right now I'm focused on the stocks that I have right now. So, but like I said, I appreciate everybody coming through for today's financial corner. You know, like I said, it's really nothing new, to be honest. Like I said, I didn't do any financial corners these last few weeks because there's really nothing special going on in the market right now, other than when we saw Microsoft bought Activision. You know, the deal that didn't come between the chip deal between Nvidia and ARM, that didn't happen. Somebody else bought out somebody. It was a chip company. I forgot who it was, but there's been some purchases here and there. You have companies buying out these other companies and whatnot. But one thing I wanted to tell you guys, if you guys look at all those SPACs that came out, a lot of companies that didn't have any cash flow or anything like that, no kind of, you know, they weren't even, like I said, they were just new companies. A lot of people were injecting money. If you look at the stock price, a lot of them have dropped now. You know what I'm saying? Nope. Graphics cards, there is still the chip shortage going on. Graphic cards are still going to be expensive. Building a computer is still going to be expensive. Nothing's going to be cheap for the next couple years. And I've said this, I keep saying it every time. They're talking this thing, they're saying 18 to 24 months. They said this in 2021. 18 to 24 months. Now, this is happening, this conflict is happening. You might as well back that on up about another year. You might as well back that on up. So, as like I said, in my opinion, you know, make sure you do your due diligence by, you know, if you know you're having a rough time or something like that, don't sit there, you know, dwindle on, just, you know, get help, ask questions, ask your support system. You know what I mean? Shoot, hit me up on, you know, my socials if you have questions. You see what I'm saying? We're all here to help each other to get out of situations like this, to help understand how you can put your money to work that will help you. You know what I mean? Everybody's different. Everybody's situation is different, but the goal is still everybody to be financial literate. You know what I mean? So that in the long term, your money can work for you without you working so hard for that money. You see what I'm saying? So I would agree with that. 2024, yeah, 2024, yeah, I would agree with that. Because the midterms are this November, I think. So there's going to be a lot of change around. There's going to be a lot of things being said. Who cares? The main thing, in my opinion, is watching the market, watching the inflation, watching prices go up. People will have to change their habits. I'm all here looking at what. Never mind. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. My son put it on pause, and all of a sudden it wanted to play on its own. Hope y'all didn't hear that. Anyways, sorry about that. But like I was saying before, sorry about that. You got to tighten up the shot group, as you know, back in the days, is for those who were in the armed services. When we talk about tighten up the shot group, y'all know what I mean by that. You see what I'm saying? So meaning that we got to get that focus. Got to get that focus. Like I said, there are a lot of places that are employing out there. This all depends on what you're looking for. If you're still looking to invest, it's never a bad time to invest. It just depends on how you are investing and what you are looking to invest in. Like I said, I always give out my opinion of the simple stuff. You know, for those who are just looking to set it and forget it type deal, ETFs all day. Talk to a financial advisor. I am not a financial advisor. I'm only show you guys what I am doing and how things are looking from my perspective. See what I'm saying? So, like I said, things are going to get more expensive. Inflation is going to get higher before it even comes back down. And until this conflict ends, no telling what the residual effects are going to be. Because if Russia decides to cut off oil to certain countries and cut off their wheat supply and other things to other countries, best believe prices are going to be jacked real high. Because like I said, the world still hasn't recovered from 2020. And now this is happening on top of that. 2020 was the catalyst when it stopped the world from moving, when all that happened in 2020. And, things were slowly but surely starting to get better, a little bit here, a little bit there. But now this happens and it's like a whole nother setback. You take 2 steps and you fall back 10 type of deal. You see what I'm saying? So, but that's it for me, y'all. That's it for the financial corner. Like I said, I just wanted to give my 2 cents with what's going on and kind of give a perspective of how I see things going on. And like I said, my personal opinion, things aren't going to get cheaper anytime soon. It's only going to get more expensive. And for some of y'all, I would get better educated when it comes to the economy, because you have some people out here just talking straight reckless, like literally straight reckless. If you do not understand what's going on, the government is not going to save you. Right? For all these people thinking that the government gonna save you, it ain't gonna happen. You need to have an understanding of the economy. You need to be financially literate so you can go out there and make better decisions for yourself, and how to make money, how to move your own money, and how to let your money grow for you. You know what I mean? Because depending on the government and all these politicians to do this and that, you just asking for it. You got to depend on yourself. You got to do what's best for you. And if you have a family, you got to, do what's best for you and your family. But you can't sit there and, just wait on them to do something thinking, So, exactly, Ash. Government works for us, but that doesn't mean they give a shit. Yeah, my sentiment exactly. But all you can do is prepare. That's all you can do. If you're doing everything that you possibly can to soften the blow, so to speak, when it comes to inflation being high and prices, getting up there, I mean, that's all you can do. All we can do as consumers is just pay it. But I will say this again, if you're invested in certain areas, yes, you're paying, but you're also making money on that end, because that company that you're invested in is also doing good. There are companies out there that, regardless of what's going on, they will always make money. Always make money. You know what I mean? And this is why I say, you always want to have some type of cash flow, maybe from streaming, maybe from doing a little Uber. Shoot, Uber might be a little bit expensive now because them rides are going to go up. For all those taking Uber rides and Lyft rides and all that's going to go up. These people are using their own private vehicles and they got to fill up that tank. Best believe them rideshare price is going to go up. Best believe if you're doing DoorDash, your food price is going to go up. Grubhub and all that, it's going to go up. So, it's just common sense. Basic economics, supply and demand. That's it. You know what I mean? So, but that's it for your boy. Hopefully you guys have a good day. Y'all stay blessed. Appreciate everybody coming through. Shouts out to Ash. Appreciate you coming through. I know a lot of y'all back there lurking. You know what I mean? So, but if you have financial questions, or if you just have questions in general, you know what I mean, hit me up on the socials. I'm more than willing to try to answer. If I don't know the answer to your question, I will point you in the direction of somebody that does. That's about all I can do for you. You know what I mean? So Oh, DoorDash on a bicycle? Yeah, I've seen it too. I wouldn't do it. Just me. Next thing you know, I'll be tilting over like Excite Bike or something like that. Or remember Paperboy? You trying to throw the newspapers in the mailbox on Paperboy on Nintendo. If you don't watch out, you get all sorts of hazards in the road that you gotta dodge. Me personally, I'd probably be the one that get knocked over. Some people's food just flying. You know what I mean? I don't think I could DoorDash on a. Well, I guess if you're in a big city, you can. I mean, it's possible. I've seen people do it. But not me. I couldn't. Oh no. But y'all be safe. Appreciate y'all. Till next time, man.